Another common fault that you can encounter in the field motherboard is the bad connectors, especially the connectors that contain pins, as you can see here. This pin can be bended. If there is a bended pin, this can make a short circuit in the motherboard, and then the laptop cannot be operated, or you can even get a dead laptop. So as you can see here, this connector is for the fan for the CPU, okay, that it contains 3 pins. So always you should pay attention for these connectors, especially the connectors that contain pins. But for this kind of connector, for example, for the HDD, as you can see, it doesn't contain pins, but it contains a metal terminal. Also, these terminals can be bended or broken, okay? That's why always you should check the connectors in the motherboards. A bad connector can cause a short circuit, okay? The same for the memory slots, as you can see. As you can see, sometimes you can find a bad memory slot. If you have a bad memory slot, the laptop cannot be operated, or you can get no power in the laptop. The same working principle. This is the network card slot, as you can see. Do you see these terminals? This should be clean and should be good. Here also, this is the connector for the power jack. Okay, so for this kind of laptop, it has this kind of connector that is connected directly to the power jack via a cable. Okay, so you should always check or do a visual inspection for all connectors in the motherboard. Okay, so the connectors can cause a dead laptop motherboards and can cause, of course, short circuits. When there is a bended pin, for example, a ground pin that touch a power rail, it can cause, of course, a short circuit. So I will show you right now some connectors, some bad connectors. As you can see, for this is a screen connector. So this connector is for the screen or the monitor. As you can see here, we have about 2 bended pins. As you can see, 2 bended pins. So this connector should be repaired. As you can see, these bended pins are touch each other, so we can get here a short circuit, especially when the 2 pins that touch each other is ground and plus 5 volt, for example, or plus 3 volt, etc. Okay, so you should always pay attention. I get many motherboards with this kind of problems. Okay, as you can see here in the image, bended pins and this connector. So you should always do a visual inspection. That's why I told you that the visual inspection is very important before checking other things. You should first do a visual inspection. So as you can see in this motherboard, this is basically an old motherboard, but I find that this connector, as you can see, is damaged. As you can see, this is a bended pins, as you can see here. Do you see bended pins? This is a bad connector. Okay, if you don't do a visual inspection, you cannot find out this kind of failure.